Do you have a boat, small boat, a sailing boat, fishing boat, or a small trimaran, catamaran, and wonder what GPS or plotter should I have for that boat? I will show you some of my favorite GPS and plotters. Three things that I think is important. It's the power, internal, external. I like when you can customize the screen, and maybe most important, updates. But I will come to that. First, I want to show you one of my favorites, and it's the Garmin Oregon 600. It's compact, really good screen. And also you can see the screen clear when it's dark, but also when the sun is shining. I will try to show that for you here. You can have it horizontal or portrait mode. Also you can customize it quite a bit. I'm not sure it was made really for boating in the beginning, but you can run the Blue Shot G2 on them, and that is impressive. This is how it looks like, and I will just show some quick feature. You can add shortcuts on a desktop, so you have your favorite things already on the desktop. Then you have the map, as I told you, pinch zoom, and it's not the fastest, but it is impressive anyway. Then you have the data fields, you can customize them. You can also take one of your apps, and then you can customize those data fields as well. When you have a small boat, and it will be wet, and touchscreen is not the best, but you can actually lock the screen, then you cannot touch it. So that is one of my favorites, Oregon 600. My next favorite, or maybe my favorite, and it is the Garmin 276CX. And before I show this unit, actually I need to show something else, because this is more or less a reboot of an amazing GPS that was released very long time ago, and that is the 276C. That was released 2004, and it had a great screen, customized data field, very bright screen in sunlight. Of course, when you look at the space now, it feels very old. 12 years later, Garmin released this one that is more or less the same but better in every way, and I will show you that one as well. Here you don't have the touchscreen. Instead, you have exactly like the original. You have buttons, so you have to move around on the map like a mouse pointer, but you can zoom out, of course, zoom in. It's connected to internet. It has wireless connection, also Bluetooth, and also that Bluetooth that you can connect Garmin's Ant Plus. So I really like this. It has built-in battery, last at least 8 hours, and you can connect it to 12-volt power, and you can also power it with the USB to a power bank. I will show you one thing to consider, and why I believe those two units and some others are in a unique spot and are better in many ways than other GPS and also plotters. So the 276C was released in 2004. CX was released 12 years later, 16, and the Oregon 600 was released 2013. But I will show you something now. The first unit here was actually supported and updated with new features until 2013, and that is quite impressive, I think. So you can see the release notes here from the beginning. 9 years of new updates, corrections and feature is amazing. And I will put that in perspective. Oregon 600 updates for that. Actually, the latest one was in the end of 2019. I don't believe any more updates will come to the Oregon 600. And then the CX, the latest update was actually in the autumn. I still believe it will be some more years with updates and features and so on. So I will just put this in some perspective. If you compare to the iPhone, it was released 3 years later than and it was only updated a few years. Then you can see that Apple has increased the support length for their iPhones and so on. And it's, of course, it's not fair to compare a phone with a GPS in any way, but just to get understanding how long that Garmin actually support their units. And if we compare with something else that is more relevant, and that is Garmin's top model watches, and in the Phoenix series, the first one and the second one they didn't support too long, but then Phoenix 3, 5 and so on, they it looks like they have started to support them for a long time. So that is very unique, and if you buy one of those units, you will get some great things even years after. That makes value to me. I was browsing around and I saw that Marine Insight had like the 7 best handheld marine GPS in 2021. The first thing I see is it's only Garmin. What I don't like with those is that are like too much focus on tracking. I don't like the antennas of some of them. The screen of the 78 is very small. Then the Garmin eTrax 20, I'm sure it's very similar GUI as the Oregon 600, and you can customize the interface what you want to see. I'm sure you can run blue shot maps on it as well. So I found one site that has listed top 24 best marine handheld GPS units in 2022. Top 1 is the 78 SC. I don't think I would like to have that. Then eTrax, this looks little more like something I would like. InReach is not really a GPS map. Then we have the Oregon 700, that is the next generation of Oregon, that could be great. Little too small screen, however, today I would say. Garmin Montana 700 rugged, also antenna, but I'm sure here is something that could be really useful. I will come back to my favorite, and that's the Garmin GPSMAP 276CX, and I have used it for several years, and it's easy to carry, long battery life, and great screen. So what do I miss? I would like to have something more for sailing. You cannot mark the starting line counter. Very much like to have something like Garmin IQ third-party app store, so you could download the app. That I think must be the next big thing. The Phoenix watches, they have that, but why not in plotter? That would help a lot, and Garmin doesn't need to develop all different kind of applications themselves. Maybe some bundle together with this, like wind speed, sonar, and I don't know. That would be a great pack to buy. If they release something like that, I would consider buying it right away. But this is my best recommendation for small boats, small trimarans, catamarans, and when it's wet and you don't always have power supply. Thanks for me.